what's up guys, welcome to the channel. And just want to give you guys an update on the N55 swap E46. I have the N55 here in its current state. We could actually go ahead and install it how it is, but before we go doing that, we want to take care of the rod bearings and the oil pan gasket. Go ahead and show you that. So it looks like it's been leaking, so better do it now than to do it later, especially if we do want to turn up the boost and tune it. Other than that, I also will be replacing the oil filter housing with an N52 oil filter housing to get rid of those extra cooler lines here. Here's the passenger side engine mount that needs to be modified to fit. And let me see if I can actually show you a better shot in here of why it needs to be modified. You can see there, that is the return oil line that runs a little underneath this part of the bracket, so you need to shave some material off. I did go ahead and post some pictures of what needs to be cut on this bracket. Just look it over, and you're just going to keep cutting until this bracket bolts onto the. Let me go ahead and take this bracket off so you guys can see how the bracket looks when it's modified. Okay, here's the bracket. You can clean it up, shave it all off, make it look pretty. But in this case, I'm not gonna do that. I might just scuff it a little bit. So for the most part, you don't really see this once it's covered up on the return line. So just keep that as a little reference. You might need to take some more material off here. Make some more room. Be better to shave this off completely if you can. And as long as it bolts up, you're golden. That's all you need to do to get this bracket to fit. Also, one more thing I want to make sure you guys are aware of. This is from a 2011 E90 BMW. It does have the old style high pressure fuel pump, same one the N54 has. You can see there, the big one. But you can use the newer style as well, as long as you have a power steering pump. You're going to bend the E46 power steering lines to bolt up to the E90 pump, guys. All right, so it has to be this. It has to have a power steering pump, pretty much, to get this to work. Anyways, let's continue on. I'm gonna go ahead and do this time lapse of doing the rod bearings. We're doing them now because it's better to do it now while it's out of the car. Also, I don't know the history of this N55, so that's another thing why I want to do the rod bearings. It does have about 133 1,000 miles on it, so I'm gonna get this taken care of now. And what do I think about the rod bearing issue with these engines? I think you should do them maybe at 100K, because they will spin. People will say, oh, just do an oil analysis and get it checked every once in a while, every other oil change. But I don't believe that. I think you just need to do those rod bearings, especially if you're going to turn up the boost and get more power out of these things. You know, just remember that other people are not going to, people that are telling you to go just wing it and do oil analysis, they're not going to pay for your engine when it spins a bearing. Just keep that in mind. Do your bearings. You never know, okay? Rod bearings are done. I'm just working on the oil pan right now, and let's go ahead and show you the old rod bearings for you guys. Alright, so starting from front to back, this is 1 all the way through 6. You can see we do have a little bit of wear going on in there. Let's see if it focuses. Let's see all these. It looks like top of cylinder 1 got a little heating up right there. You can see cylinder 2, cylinder 3, cylinder 4. Got a little leaf right there. Cylinder 5, and then 6 right here. 6 also got a little beading on it, the top ones. Pretty cooked. Okay, so that's that. Those are the rod bearings. The engine has 133k miles. So that's all done. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, and yeah, I'll let you guys know. All right, guys, looks like engine's ready to be installed into the E46. And go ahead and bring it in, and let's do this. It's going in tonight. ZHP in here right now. Went ahead and removed the compressor here from the connection up there. You can also replace the engine mounts while I'm in here. Going back to stock engine mounts. So we're replacing with OEM E46 engine mounts. And what else we got here? Disconnect the power steering line. You can see the power steering pump down there with the lines. We're actually going to use the E90 power steering pump, and we're going to go ahead and show you how we combined this rack to the pump. Okay. Also, what else? The condenser. We're going to be running a diesel, E46 diesel condenser. It's a half size of this. We need it so we could run the diesel intercooler. I'll go ahead and show you the intercooler that we're going to run on this car. Give me a second. here it is. Here's the intercooler that we're going to be using. The only thing is that we need to get rid of that condenser because it's too long and the intercooler won't work with the regular N55. It needs to have the diesel N57 from E46 diesel. Okay. ZHP. I have the engine in here for the most part. I'm getting ready to do the cooling system, and I'm going to show you guys what hoses you need to do this. They're not original, they're actually from AutoZone. But before that, I do want to show you what else I did to make the engine fit in here. Let me go ahead and show you. Go down here. So this was a plug and play and swap. The things I use, combinations of parts, starting with the transmission. I did go ahead and use a 37BZ from an E90 2006 and up, 330, 530i, E60, or even up to the Z4 has this transmission. It is a 6-speed 37BZ. You cannot use the E46 37BZ as a different housing, so you need to use this transmission. This transmission will allow you to use the drive shaft from this E46 6-speed. As you can see, everything lines up. It's the perfect length. Everything was just pretty much plug and play. Shifter linkage is also from a 6-speed E46. So that's, you take it from your E46, okay? The 6-speed linkage, rods and everything. Transmission mount, E46 6-speed, bolts up the same, everything's the same. Reverse sensor is still here. What else do I have here? Flywheel. I'm using the N55 manual flywheel with a max clutch, I believe, from eBay. It's like $65. That's a stage 3 sports clutch with a E46 M3 pressure plate. Okay, that's what you need. Also, you do have to modify the transmission a little bit. The bearing guide. I forgot the name of it. I have a highlight on my Instagram. If you guys want to follow me there, Tech. I'll put it in the description. You can follow me there and watch the ZHP highlight. I do another overview of the parts that are needed. Okay. Other than that, bell housing. There is some bolts that you have not used. Let's see. Fortunately, I do have a strip bolt right here. That's why I'm not using it. But normally, you do use a bolt here. Okay. There's 2 other bolts up here that are not being used because they don't line up with the block. But you could probably drill them in and tap them, and reuse the bolts. I'm not going to do that. That's too much work, and I want to drive this car already. Other than that, the rear end bolted up to the E46 differential. I did go ahead and swap over. This was an automatic before. I'm using the 293 diff now from a 5-speed manual, because the gearing will help with the gearing and the RPMs, so that will help on the freeway speeds. Okay. What else? All right, another thing is for the fueling, these have to go. You're gonna delete all the fuel lines from the E46, and you're gonna use E46 M3 fuel filter and lines. Okay, so this is all gonna go. This doesn't, the regulator has to be deleted. You need everything from the E46 M3, because the E46 M3, I believe, has 75 PSI coming out of the fuel pump, and the 330s only provide like 45, something like that. It's just not enough fuel for the N55, okay? And it's a straight swap over. These lines come out, and you just swap over into it for the M3 lines. All right. And the fuel line, actually, I'm gonna show you guys. The fuel line is a direct connection to the N55 as well. Let me see if I can show you guys. Turn on my light somewhere here. Anyways, let me see if I can get you in there. So, you can see that your fuel line right there, and it plugs straight into the N55 fuel system, okay? Just clicks right in, no issue there. Okay, moving on. What else do we have here? Power steering. Let's go ahead and show you what I did with the power steering. Okay, so we are using the E90 power steering pump along with the E46 power steering line. See, you could bend the E46 power steering line into the position you want, and it'll bolt right up to the E90 pump. See, you can just mess around with it, get it into the right spot you want. I still got some messing with to get it where I want, but that's all it is. You can use your E46 steering rack with the E90 pump. How awesome is that? Okay, let's jump right through it. We're gonna use the return hose from the 335i. We're gonna cut the little brass brace right here on both ends, and we're gonna adapt it to this AutoZone hose. Here's the part number 25482. You can see it there. We're gonna use this hose because it's gonna give us that curve that we need to fit this coolant line to the E46 radiator that we're using. Same thing with the feed. We're going to use a 328i upper coolant feed line, but we're also going to remove it from the brace. We're going to cut these off, both ends, and we're just going to use the caps, the plastic parts, and bought this AutoZone hose. Here's the part number 23882. This one's going to give us the length, and it's going to fit much better than the 328 hose. Okay, so here's that part number again. All right, and you can see it has the same setup, just a little bit longer. Okay, so let me go ahead and cut these up for you and show you guys how it looks after when it's modified. Okay, so here's the hose that I modified. This is the AutoZone hose here, and here's the cap that you need to use. Basically, it just goes into here like that. So yeah, that's all it is. Your feed is going to be like this now. And you do have to cut a little bit off the tip of this side of this corner, shave off like 1.5 inches and get some clearance, because it is a little bit tight. You can see there. So you might have to trim a little bit depending on your setup. Okay, I have this big old intake that's in the way, so I have to cut at least 1 inch off. Okay, and just cut as necessary. All right, let me go ahead and button this up. So basically, this is how it's going to look. Turn this to the position you need, and you can see why it's kind of has a kink here, so that's why you want to cut a little bit of material to get this a little bit more straightened out. But yeah, that's it for the feed side. The return line, we're going to do the same with the 335 original hose. We're going to cut the little braces there and fit them into this hose here, part number 25482 from AutoZone, or O'Reilly has this hose. It's just a bendy float hose that you can get from the auto parts. Okay, so here's the 335 return line now. It's going to be modified to fit onto this aftermarket AutoZone O'Reilly hose. Part number right here. The only thing you have to do left, because the position is different, is we have to modify the radiator itself. This is the E46 radiator. We have to remove these little notches, little ears, the top one and on the bottom. Remove those, and then we should be able to click this hose in nicely. Okay, so hold up, I'll show you how it looks. Okay, so basically it's supposed to look like this. You get your little tool here, and it's gonna have to look like this when it's done. Let's see in here. So the tabs are completely shaved off. So basically you're removing, you gotta cut right through it, shave the little ear off, and you should be good. You should be able to click it in, no problem. So I'm back here, down here, to show you from the bottom what needs to be removed again, so you get another idea. This is what we're moving here, this tab. I'm gonna cut it off completely, and make sure, and you're gonna cut all the way through here, and then you should be able to click in your return line. And that's pretty much it for the return line. Let me go ahead and go ahead and show you guys what's going on. Alright, so cleaned up a little bit. Need to do a little bit more, but let me go ahead and finish this up and show you guys how it looks after. Okay guys, so this is the finished product, how it should look. Focus this for you. It's nice and shaved. Basically just removing the little ears off of it, so the connector could just pop right in. Okay, and just be very careful not to cut too much. But that's pretty much it for the return line. Let me go ahead and install it and show you guys where we're at. So pretty much this is how it's going to go, and it's going to make this little U. This goes on the radiator side, and this is going to go on the thermostat side. Okay, so just imagine that inside the engine bay. Okay, so let me go ahead and put this in. Okay, let's go ahead and show you what's going on. Alright, so here's the bottom hose. Nice, clicked in already. Just gotta put the clamp on. And then we got the upper. I mean this, the one that goes to the thermostat, which is gonna go into here. Let me put you down here real quick. Oh. So it's going to click into here. So basically it's going to look like this. So make that UE. This one's the thermostat one, and this one goes up into the radiator. Alright, and you're good to go. This is your cooling system for pretty much for the swap. Another thing is for the coolant pipe down here, let's see if I can show you. The one that runs onto the block, this guy right here with the 3 bolts, normally that pipe has an extra nipple right here where I put this piece of metal. You can either block it off. The automatics have an extra nipple here that needs to be blocked off with a little cap, or you could do what I did and got a 2-inch pipe and aluminum pipe and put it in between there, and went ahead and put some clamps on it, and that's it for that coolant pipe. All right, same thing for the heater hose pipe that normally runs through the subframe here. There's actually a plastic pipe that goes here that I removed and capped off, and then this is actually from an N54. You're gonna need an N54 one because the N55 actually is too close to the firewall, so you need an N54 heater hose line. Okay, it's this one that goes up. It's a little 3-piece, and there's an actual plastic pipe that goes over here for the heater line that we're not using, so we just blocked it off. Okay, cool. Also, while I'm down here, I do want to go ahead and show you what I did with the ground, because we did remove it from the original mount. We shaved it off over here. For the coolant, one of the coolant lines, you can see I used the E46 starter cable, the 13 right here, and mounted it to the water pump ground here. Okay. So basically that's going to be your new ground instead of the one that normally mounts on the Z4 mount, because we had to shave that to make some clearance. Okay, other than that, down here we are using M3 power steering lines now, along with the power steering cooler. It's from the E46 M3. Also, we're doing that so we could relocate the reservoir down here where it would be, because on the E46 M3 they have it sitting right here by the frame, and that's where we need to put it now, because you can't mount it up top anymore. It just fits better, and it's you can't see it. It's more low-key. So yeah, M3 power steering lines here. They go over here, and the reservoir sits right behind there. You can see where I'm pointing at. That's all it is. And pretty much that's it for the cooling system. I just got to put the coolant vent line. We are using the N52 from an E90 vent line and reservoir, but you could do, I believe the 335 would fit also. But so far I found the N52 coolant reservoir fits, and let me go ahead and show you guys us bleeding the cooling system. Almost forgot to mention, there's a coolant block off cap that we need to install here for the upper hose. I'll put in the part number in the description for that piece. Okay, here we are. We have the coolant vent line from E90, as you can see. Plugs in right here with the E90 upper connectors. You can see I use these worm clamps for now. You can trim them or get the right size, but this is what I'm using for now. Yeah, everything's connected now. I'm gonna go ahead and try to bleed the cooling system, and I'll show you how to do the electric fan. There you go, it's going. Let's stop. Yeah, it probably has an air pocket. But you can hear the pump going. Maybe more water. I think the pump is leaking it all out. There you go. Yeah, from the plastic. Mm-hmm. Alright guys, so the cooling system is now bled. The water pump is leaking, so I'm gonna have to replace that. But we're gonna go ahead and install the E46 electric fan and just plug it in. Should work. Alright guys, the E46 electric fan is in. This is temporary. We're gonna actually use a Z4 electric fan. I'll also put that in the description, the part number that is needed, but this will do for now. Okay, E46 electric fan. You can see all the clearance, all this extra room here. Okay, try this again. Clutch down. Make sure it's working properly.